Hey guys, it's Ryan F. doing another review. Today I'm going to be taking a look at Original Sin Issue 0. One sec. Sorry, I've got allergies right now and it's going really bad. My medicine's starting to wear off. But, Original Sin Issue 0. I know this book is a little late, but still I thought I'd review it because I'm going to review all the Original Sin books, not the tie-ins, but the books. Unless there's a book that I'm reading right now that's going to be a tie-in, I will review those. Like, for example, I know there's going to be a Nova tie-in, so I'll review that. But there's going to be certain tie-ins that I'll get a review, and there's certain tie-ins I won't, because there's only going to be a few I'm getting, because those are the books I'm getting already. So, the writer in this book was Mark Waid, and the artist, I think his name is Jim Cheung. You guys can see right there. The cover is actually really nice. I like the picture of the Watcher. You can see Nova coming in from there, and it says, "Who is the Watcher?" And it says 0 to 8, 0 of 8. So I do have number 1, and I'll be reviewing that today. I just have a few more books I need to review before I do that. I thought I'd get this one done because I know this one's a little bit of an older book, so I thought I'd get it done. This book is actually a $5 book, so it's a little expensive, but if so is the first book, and I believe the 8th book will too. But I think the rest will be $4 books, which tomorrow, the 21st, I think, will be the issue 2. So I'm looking forward to reading that and reviewing it. So it shows, like, as in every other event, it shows who the characters that are going to be in this book, which is the Watcher and Nova, or at least main characters. But there are more characters in this book than just those two. But it turns out the pencil is with Jim Cheung, and it was also Paco Manella or something here. I'll show you guys the thing there so you guys can just look them up if you want to. Because I'm really not good at pronouncing names. So it starts out with a little bit of a flashback. If you're not reading Nova, you don't know this kind of things. It's just talking about what Nova is in the book. Like, it first starts out with Sam Alexander saying he's proud of his father and how he was a Nova, and how it's got Glimmer and Rocket Raccoon here because they're talking about how they're trying to figure out more about his future. Oh, I mean, not his future, his past, his dad. And he always his dad, Sam Alexander's dad, would always tell him stories about him being a Nova. He believed them when he was younger, but he didn't believe them after that. And all of a sudden, his dad walks out on them, and he doesn't know where they are, which I'll let you know more about that later. And since his dad was gone, he had to take his responsibilities, and his dad was a janitor at his school, so he had to do all his work for him. And then one day he goes into his room, and he finds a helmet, and it's a Nova helmet, and then he turns into Nova. That's how the story was in the beginning. And then you just see him flying through space, and you see him with the Watcher, and that's because he's kind of got a relationship with the Watcher. And then it goes to Earth again. Now this is present day. This isn't a flashback to what Nova was. Nova is fighting this guy named Tama Zema. I don't know who that is. It's a god guy. See, I only know the main characters, and like I don't know the characters that have not been in the books forever. Like, for example, there's A-list superheroes, B-list superheroes, C-list, and D-lists, which I'm good with A, B, and C sometimes, and I'm not so good with D's. But same with villains. There's going to be A, B, C, D characters. So some of them I don't know. This is a D-list character, I think, who I don't really know who he is, but he apparently is a god, and he's trying to destroy this oil place, or like an oil spill or whatever. Not an oil spill, but he's at a place where they stay where the oil is. And he's trying to defeat them, and all of a sudden you see Nova dive through him, and it turns out he was a robot. And the Avengers come, and they're talking to him, and they're talking to him about what he should be doing and stuff, and it's really hard to explain here, but it's like they're giving him credit for what he did, and then all of a sudden Nova asks about the Watcher and who he wants to know who he is, and then he's like, just don't worry about it, and that's all you need to do. And all you need to know is he could be. We don't know about him. He records everything. That's only what we know. And the next scene, he goes into space, and he's gonna go talk to him because he always usually talks to him. And then he gives him a really cool thing. Is though it goes back to AVX. If you didn't read AVX and you're reading Marvel, you should really read Avengers vs. X-Men because it changed the Marvel universe basically. But this was like Avengers vs. X-Men was the first time I've ever seen Sam Alexander Nova. So he was the one who kind of saved everyone, and he gives Watcher a rock from the last battle against the Phoenix Force. So all of a sudden he walks in, he's gonna go put it somewhere, and Nova's getting these like headaches all of a sudden, and he's walking through trying to find him, and then he finds a whole bunch of Watchers, and then He's following them, gets another headache, and he steps on something, and he goes into a room where there's all these deadly weapons. So it's like his armory or whatever. We don't know much about him. And there's also the Ultimate Nuclear. I don't know if I say that right. I know what the Ultimate Nuclear is if you've read Avengers Assemble. The book, not the show. The show is but I mean the actual book, not the cartoon book. But, so you see that, and then all of a sudden he gets this giant headache, as you guys can see, or his Nova helmet is trying to let him know something. And the Watcher is then watching an old video of his old species, and then you see young Watcher right there, Yotulu or something like that. Oh, dang it, I always forget how to pronounce his name. And then they decide to protect the planet and give him weapons or something, and then next thing you know, they